Hey guys, so I just wanted to take a quick minute and give you a couple of tips and answer some of the common questions that I get about hiring an assistant. So the first thing that I just wanted to bring up is when you're in the process of hiring, I really suggest that you hire someone that you know. I know in a lot of businesses that's kind of a no-no, hiring a friend or a family member, but in this case scenario I think it works really well because a lot of times you may be working in two different locations or your assistant is working remotely, and you really want to have somebody who has your back and that you know is very loyal to you. And usually that's kind of a given with a friend or a family member. So first I would suggest looking for, maybe a sister-in-law, a best friend, maybe even a mom or an aunt or someone who's looking for some part-time work from home. And if that doesn't work, I would really stress to use word of mouth. So maybe it's a friend of a friend, or somebody that you know through another person, so that you can really be confident that they are a trustworthy person. Because hiring online is just so difficult these days, and especially if the person's working in a different location than you, it can be kind of hard. So I think that's really important. When you do go about hiring people, I think it's completely fine to ask for a resume. I would definitely check people's references. And that's going to take maybe like 20 or 30 minutes of your time to call a couple of their references. But I think that it could really make a big difference. And you'll know, you can rest easy knowing that you're hiring someone who comes highly recommended. So it's definitely worth it. Another thing that I think would be a great idea is to do a 30-day trial. And I don't think there's any harm in just, hiring the person that you think is best for the job and letting them know that you're going to give it a shot for 30 days. Make sure that your personalities mesh well. Make sure that, it's working out for both of you. Make sure that they're happy too. And you can sort of reevaluate in 30 days and just make sure that everything's going the way that it should be. And that also gives you the opportunity to clarify anything maybe that wasn't really going well for that first month, and just make sure that if you are going to continue on with that working relationship, you can kind of square those things away at that point, and you won't have to feel like you're hurting anyone's feelings. So I really stress that you want to remember that the whole reason that you're hiring an assistant is to make your life easier. You're getting really busy, your business is growing, and you need some help. So you want to avoid micromanaging as much as possible, because that's obviously just going to add more work to your plate, which brings us to the fact that you want to hire someone trustworthy. You really want to hire somebody that you know can handle anything that you give them, can work from their to-do list, knows how to prioritize, knows what your priorities are, and is always going to make sure that those get met first, knows what those non-negotiable tasks are, things that have to be done on a daily basis, and no excuses kind of an attitude. And if you hire someone like that, I think that you're going to be able to let go of the reins a little bit easier. For a lot of coaches, this is their baby. This is the business that they built from the ground up. And it's really hard to let some of that go. So it's important that when you do decide to let a little bit of that go, you find somebody that you trust. And that's why I recommend that you find somebody that you know, or through a friend of a friend or something like that. So let's talk a little bit about the qualities that I think you might want to look for when you're hiring. Definitely you want to find someone who's self-motivated. Again, you don't want to have to micromanage. You don't want to have to constantly be checking in. Find somebody who knows how to work from that to-do list, will check in with you at the end of the day and let you know that everything's been done, maybe let you know kind of where some things are standing that are still open, but somebody that you can trust to work from a remote location, that you don't have to be sitting in the office with them every single day, and you know that they're going to be motivated enough without you there. Another thing that you want to look for is someone who's very organized. So maybe if you know this person personally, you know what their house looks like, what their car looks like, what their cubicle looks like. Maybe you know that they are super, super organized already, and that's great. That probably makes that person a really good candidate for this job. A lot of what I do is spreadsheets and checklists and, running through an order of operations. So the fact that that person can stay really organized and help you stay really organized is going to be huge. And then the next one is something that a coach actually brought up to me that I hadn't thought about before, but it would be really great if you could find somebody who is creative. This might sound like something that's not really necessary, and it's probably not, but I've heard from coaches that it would be nice if their assistant could sort of like take the reins on projects and do things without having to be told, step by step by step, and maybe even like creating images or helping put together PowerPoints or, just things like that, that if they have a little bit of creativity, it would be really, really helpful, and I can see how that would be. So if you can find somebody who's creative, maybe you know somebody who's already really creative and self-motivated and organized, that might be your perfect candidate. The last thing that I just want to touch on is that you kind of have to remember that this person is essentially your front desk person. If your business was a brick and mortar business and you had a storefront somewhere, this person is that face that your customer or your coach or whoever your business deals with is seeing the minute they walk in your front door. And is that a person, and I mean when I say seeing, I mean seeing, your assistant might be the first email that they receive. Your assistant might be the first person that answers the question that they want to send to you. So can you trust that that person is going to be kind and thoughtful and represent you in the best light when they're dealing with your customers and your coaches? Is that someone that you would want sitting at your front desk? If that makes sense. And just be very clear about your expectations. Know what you want them to do from the get-go. Have a list of the things that you think would be the most helpful for you if they were able to do those tasks for you on a daily basis, and be really clear about what those are when you're hiring and as you're starting out. If your assistant knows exactly what's expected of them, they're going to be better able to do those things and help you and take stress off of your plate and free you up to do some of the other things in your business that need to be done or that maybe you like to do better. So remember, this person is there to help you, and as long as you give them the tools to do that, it probably will work. So I am going to be doing a new training series. It will be a series of videos, and if you have just hired an assistant or you have an assistant that you've been working with but you're not quite sure if you are maximizing that relationship and you wonder what should they be doing for me on a weekly basis maybe, give me an email and I will send you the details of the training. So my email is chelsea.virtualassistant@gmail.com, and I hope to hear from some of you soon. Thanks!